different body types or different bone types of people. I forget the term. I should have actually studied this. But
Oh,
just
like endomorph and
yeah,
ectomorph and
yeah, yeah,
mesomorph. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Do you think these three bone types of humans should train differently depending on that?
The thing with that is, and I have studied it a little bit, it's hard to pinpoint like which one you are because there's really not three. There's like all these different combination. There's like an ectomorph. I might be wrong about this, but
Mhm.
I
No,
think
no.
there's like all these other little categories that are
Mhm,
really specific. But
mhm,
I think you'll know, like,
mhm.
if you just start working out, like, I mean, everybody I've ever known that works out long enough, they know, like, either because like if you're what I call a hard gainer, where it takes a lot of calories to put on, you'll know because you just won't
Yeah,
ever get bigger, and
yeah.
you'll have to eat like 20,000 calories.
Then
So
that's
then, you're
that's
gonna
the
have
that's
to
the
adjust your
that's
thing.
that's kind of like those types of people. They're like the first, like the smaller bone types. I'm guessing. I'm not sure. I can't.
Yeah, the thin,
Yeah, yeah.
right,
The
thin
bones are thin.
people.
Where the people have like large bone or medium or intermediate, whatever you want to say. Especially the large bone ones. They're stronger. Because they produce more blood. When you think about bone marrow is where the blood comes from. So,
Oh, yeah.
so when you produce more blood because of your bone marrow, therefore you have your muscles gain more oxygen. So therefore you can do more with your muscles. It's just, it's just that's how it works. And so they can lift more. They kind of the endurance levels are probably more as well naturally. I'm not saying that but they could obviously then the weight they put on weight a lot easier at the same time, so that slows them down and that tires them out. So that's why the stamina, if they lose all their weight, their stamina is probably up off the charts. But yeah, it's. Do you think like because of these different bone types, do you think like one is maybe a heavy lifter or maybe a bodybuilder, or maybe someone, if it was a woman, it was maybe like a woman who can like not keep up with like men, but she's stronger than the average, so she should basically make her body muscular too. Maybe people in the middle can go either way, and maybe people on the slimmer or skinnier bone types, whatever you call it, because maybe I'm saying it completely wrong, but those bone types, maybe they should focus more on the CrossFit, more on the like, they don't need to build huge muscle, but they can still build muscle. And maybe they need to be more careful with their diet, etc. I don't know how you feel about that.
Yeah, that what what popped into my mind is like your body proportions. Like the gentleman I told you that trained me in powerlifting. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
he was a shorter guy, and he had a chest. I mean, like, it was a real barrel chest. I mean, his chest was gigantic, and his
Mm-hmm.
arms were shorter than mine. So
Mm-hmm.
his range of motion, like
Yeah,
his
not a
bench
lot.
press was like that long. Well,
Mm-hmm.
my arm, it was for every one for the distance he covered on benching was like,
2 to 1.
three of his to one of mine
Oh,
because my
really?
elbows come behind my
Mm-hmm.
back and his
Mm-hmm.
elbows are up here. So he could, and believe me, that it didn't matter. The guy was strong, but I'm just
Yeah.
saying different. And the same goes with deadlifts. Like people with really long arms and like short torso or something like that can deadlift crazy weight. So there's all these, because you have different leverage. If your arms are
Mm-hmm.
longer and shorter, the
Mm-hmm.
muscle has less, it has more torque.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, and that's what's awesome about being humans is that we're all different. And,
Mm-hmm.
so if you're working out with someone else, like they might kill it on the bench press, but then you might have them on squats,
Mm-hmm.
and so like now you kind of have this little competition and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, everybody, there's not one way to work out, and you really got
Mm-hmm.
to find that for yourself, just like we were
Mm-hmm.
saying.
Yeah.
You might be a big boy. I love working out with the big guys because you can
Mm-hmm.
pack on muscle.
Mm-hmm.
Big country boy,
Mm-hmm.
who's corn fed. I mean, those guys just put on. I had a bunkie who, and he was a younger guy, but he could just do push-ups and his chest would get bigger. I'm talking
Mm-hmm.
every week, his chest was noticeably bigger just
Mm-hmm.
from doing like some sets of push-ups every week. It was incredible. I mean, he looked like he was bodybuilding, and he wasn't even doing that, because he
But
just had that frame.
I think, like you said, some people grow without. Yeah, you don't have to do a lot of work. I think the growth is the least. If you just like press ups is a move that fatigues your muscles, isn't it? So if you really go at it, most people press up to failure. Let's be honest. Um, so it fatigues you, and then you can grow quite quickly through that fatigue. I mean, the biggest growth I've ever experienced in arms is doing like 400 press ups in a day, and I did 400 press ups in a day, obviously split up throughout the day. But after 2 days, my arms were like they blew up to like disproportionate. Like I've never seen a blow up like that before, and it was strange because I was like, I would think that it wouldn't blow up like that in terms of like just like constant press ups 50-50 throughout the whole day. It just my arms went just expanded. So I don't know. I don't know, but I think you could if I was to do that like once a week, I think my arms wouldn't expand. But because I just did it once and just I thought, wow, like I don't know, the body's strange like that. It's like you do something once, it blows up, but if you do it over and over again, the body just adapts and just thinks like, wait, this is nothing. It's crazy.
Right. Yeah, you're absolutely yeah, and there's a word for that too. Is it adaption? You get acclimated to now they say some people say that that's a myth, but I personally mix things up because
Yeah.
I do adapt real easy, and that's why you always want to work on your weakness because that's the quick like you
That's when you
actually
feel it.
you just proved it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that you get them big gains and that keeps you happy,
Yeah, yeah,
Otherwise you're just shooting for a couple percent increase,
yeah. It's
But
not
man, when
enough.
I get a 50% increase, like,
Yeah,
you know,
crazy.
now I'm looking in the
Crazy.
mirror and I see some growth and yeah.